You just got to start in practice. So when we come out today, there's people that might have some hangover from that game, but as seniors, we just can't allow it to affect practice. When it comes in terms to running to the ball, doing the little things, that's our standards around here. Today's a day some people might not want to do it, and so it's our job to hold them to that standard and then keep them at that standard all week.
Like he said, we just got to go out here and have a great week of practice, and as leaders, we can't let this go downhill. Last year, after third week of the season, stuff kind of went downhill. So as a senior, as a leader, we got to make sure everybody just bounce back, have a great week of practice, get ready for Florida.
Just how much of a test is this for this offensive line? What sticks out about Florida's defensive line from when you faced them and from looking at them on film?
Yeah, we've been playing against these guys, for the past 4 years, 3 years. They're all in our class. Great athletic guys. So we just gotta get a great week of practice, like I said, and just go down there and play together.
Juwan or Dan, either one, Coach said sometimes you learn more from losing than you do beating somebody 45-0. What's your response to that? What do you take out of what happened Saturday?
I think there's a lot to learn from the Oregon game. Just from a defensive standpoint, with them putting tempo on us like they did, we've got to be able to get lined up quicker, to know the calls better, to know really what we're doing more, because if you have any doubts or any uncertainties, they expose you, and they obviously did that a lot to us in the game. And so just learning that, now we got something to fix. Now we got something that we can mimic this week in practice to improve on.
From an offensive standpoint, what about
we gotta find playmakers. We gotta find big plays to be made. We did not so good of a job, trying to help out our defense. But as an offensive line, we could always block better, run in, pass. But like I said, we just gotta find our playmakers.
Well, how did the offensive line break out against Oregon?
I'm not quite sure yet. We have meetings later today. We watched the film as a group together, just the players, but we haven't watched it with the coach yet.
Were you disappointed with the line's play against Oregon, or do you think you did okay? What was your assessment?
I'm not too disappointed. That's a different scheme. We don't see a lot. That's a defense I've never seen before. They take off a lot of double teams or how they line up and things like that. But it's always something, like I said, you could do better. But I wasn't too disappointed with the offensive line, how they played.
Ron, you said that they do some things differently. I think Justin called them unconventional. Maybe expound on that a little bit. Like, what do they do that maybe you guys hadn't seen? Or
we call it a bear front. They had the big lanky guys up front, 6'8", 290 guys. 3 of them, then they keep 2 linebackers walked up. They might walk that end up and press him on the corner and press him on the receiver if he's in the boundary. So they were just doing a lot of things and taking double teams off and forcing us to open up to outside guys.
Daniel, with Salisbury's situation, Couch's situation, as you cut some into depth there at the interior, how much pressure does that put on you and the colors as well?
Puts a lot of pressure, not just on Dan and myself, but really on all the D linemen, because now those are reps that us and younger guys are going to have to take, and it's also going to affect the offensive line, because now we don't have guys that'll be down there to give them a good service. And so really it's just a team effort, and all of us really have to share that burden to pick up our play, to pick up our intensity in practice. We got to have our scout team guys pick up the intensity too, because the offense needs people to give them work so that they're able to prepare for Florida. And if we don't have guys down there that have good energy and can stand their tempo each practice, then they're not going to get a good look and not be able to perform in practice.
Any guys who've kind of stood out to you in practice from that group who might be ready to make a big contribution?
I've been really impressed with Jason Carr's approach to learning and then how he's done. Very talented guy, young, just got a lot of things to work on. And then Danny O'Brien, I've been really impressed with too. It seems like every week he just keeps improving on like one thing at a time. And so I think he's going to be able to play some valuable minutes for us and then help us out a bunch. And then I think Alan Carson's been doing good down on the scout field for them and giving them a good look. And, he's really bought into that role, which we need him to do, because without him giving James, Zach, Bullard, and all them good looks, then how can they prepare for Florida?
Ferdinand, how do you think the snap and clear mentality held up on the defense against Oregon?
You really didn't have too much time to even think, so you were pretty clear-minded the whole game. And no, it was just it was good practice for us. I mean, literally every play, if you got focused on a big play, Oregon was lined up and running another play. I mean, I can think of another play where they had just hit a big play on us, and we had a defensive end 10 yards from the line of scrimmage just because he was trying to look for the call and then not lined up. And so it's things like that where we know as a defensive line now, we got to know all the hand signals ourselves, because at times when it starts moving fast like that and the bullets are flying, you can't count on AJ to be able to make a call for the line, to tell us where to line up, to tell where the blitz is coming from, and then also to get the secondary set. And so we got to take more responsibility for it ourselves. And we've got, I think, 4 or 5 seniors up front on the defensive line, so there's no excuse for us.
For either one of you guys, as hard of a place as the Swamp is to play, as opposed to, say, Eugene, where you hadn't been before, how much does it help the fact that you're both familiar with it? You've got guys that have been to Gainesville and kind of know the drill down there.
As you know, older players, we played in so many places, it really doesn't affect us. You know, we just got to go out here and prepare. You know, our Coach Jones does a good job with crowd noise and things like that to distract us at practice. So if we prepare, I feel like we can play anywhere. You can't, put the venue as an excuse.
Daniel Driscoll had a really good game against y'all last year. What is it about him that makes him kind of difficult to play?
He's been elusive for us, and he's been able to run against us. And last year, I think we made every quarterback play good against us. And so we just got to do a good job containing him, forcing him to make throws, and then getting after him when we know it's a pass down. We got to keep our rushing points on the quarterback, not let him get outside to make those extra throws.
Anything else?
Daniel, just one thing that Butch mentioned about Travaris that stood out was that he'd grown more mentally than any other player, he thought, since the time he'd been here. And what had you seen out of him, and how disappointing is it for him that he's not going to be able to go to his hometown and play this week?
Since Coach Jones got here, Travaris is just, when he first got here, he had a hard time finishing the drills, finishing the workouts, to really give him that consistent effort. And there was a time where we didn't even know if Sauls would be able to help us out this year. But we had, as a player staff, we had a meeting with him and just told him, look, you've got the talent, you got everything else, we need you to win. And since that point, he really balled in and started giving more effort in practice, more effort in workouts, coming in, doing extra film and things like that. And it really showed up on film. He was starting to really improve his game a lot. And, it's just terrible luck that, on a play where we had one linebacker giving one call, another one giving another call, and then just a freak accident happened. And, it sucks for him, but hopefully he sees this as an opportunity to get better in other ways, to study more of the game and to keep developing good habits.
How unusual is that to have kind of like a players-only type meeting to say that to a player that, hey, you've got the talent, we need you to step it up?
Coach Jones really coached us as a player staff on how to handle situations like that, on how to try to get more out of people like that. And Sauls was a guy that we knew we needed. And so Jawan was a part of it too. We just got together and said, Sauls, we need you. And I think with us coming to him, that probably had more of an effect on him than any coach, because, you hear coaches screaming at you all the time, and at some point it just becomes where it's going in one ear and out the other. But when you got the people that are sweating with you, bleeding with you, and going through it with you to say that they need you, I thought he responded well to it.
Anything else?
All right, we'll do just a few.